I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's not on the agenda, but you can. Yeah, go ahead. We have that new business to add too. I have this new business to add.
Thank you, Andrew. You need a pen ball.
I
need a wallet to borrow too.
What do we got though?
Budget review.
All right, I guess, open it up for public comment. Judy?
Is anyone going to the scholarship ceremony tonight at Spalding?
I don't even know, I didn't,
To the best of our knowledge, I don't believe that we received any,
I wasn't aware of it.
we haven't received, I called and declined because I had a meeting, or I RSVP'd that I wasn't going, but to the best of my knowledge, no one has applied for the Wakefield.
Really?
I don't believe you've received any. I don't believe that any students from, we haven't received any that would go with our scholarship.
I just thought someone from the school district would go to represent us for our kids.
It wouldn't,
that were down there.
it would have been nice to be able to do that.
All right. Review of the 2013-14 budget. I guess Andrew?
We're talking about cafe services, right?
Andrew, you were also supposed to go over the budget with us tonight.
Yeah,
I have the expense report and the revenue and some information to show you.
Well, not only for cafe services, but we had asked you to go over the budget that you had proposed to the past board in its entirety so that we could have some idea of what everything that is included in the budget.
Okay, I misunderstood. I have the information for this year.
This year, that's, yes, so like the.
This current year we're in right now, 2012-13.
And then we wanted to know, like, we had asked if we could have the presentation that you and the superintendent had given to the board back when you were planning the budget also, so that we'd know what was coming up for the
I'll get you those
2013-14 year.
documents. I left the books at my office,
Okay,
but I do have them. I'll get them to you.
okay.
we have a short meeting tonight, not a regular meeting, and both those requests were made. My understanding was that the cafe services was the pressing one for this meeting, because we've only got 45 minutes tonight, and then there's the Milton Board meeting starting. So that, when Andrew and I looked over the material today, we looked over the cafe services stuff, not at least that I didn't remember the other, it's just that I didn't think that was part of this short meeting. I thought that was part of the regular meeting.
Okay.
And that agenda will get put together tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess I'd like to add under the review of the 2013-14 budget then that we move to, if it's okay I'd like to make a motion to allow the cafe services information.
I'll second that. All in favor?
The information?
Aye.
What do you mean?
The budget.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, what I've done is I took cafe services budget they put in their contract, and after they wrote the contract, the state granted us an additional 6 cents per lunch. So if you look at the revenue, I estimated what the additional 6 cents would be for the full year for 2013 and 14. So projected income will be 166,049. Labor and expenses were 171,925. I added into the expenses items that are now covered by cafe services, which would be the maintenance on the equipment in the kitchen. I put in $5,000 for that. So it's looking like at this point in time, we would have a $5,876 deficit next year with cafe services.
Next year?
Next year, 2013-14.
How much was that again? What was the deficit again?
$58.76.
Okay.
What I also did is I looked at where we are currently, and it looks like we'll be ending 2012-13 with a $26,000 deficit.
Mhm. And what is that compared to last year, Andrew?
Last year was 59, I believe. So last year's deficit was 59, and we have 26 now, so we're doing a little bit better than,
Down $33,000
From
this year
last
with
year.
cafe services.
correct. I have copies of the contract for whoever needs it. I know Bonnie has a copy, and
Mhm.
I'd like to copy that. This is your only copy?
it's your copy.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Does anybody else want a copy? I guess somebody else has a copy.
Do you need a
copies?
copy of it? Do you have the cafe services contract?
Do you have one handy, Andrew?
Yeah.
How about you, Bob?
Mine's in the cabinet.
For temporarily?
Yeah, I'll take it for now.
I'll take that one for temporarily, I'll take this back.
That's fine, it's an extra copy.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion to accept? Or do you want to make a motion for cafe services?
How, is there like there's been input from the school and stuff like that on the performance of the provider, service provider?
There are. Bob and I are on the committee. We've met with Andrew, Jerry, as well as Chris. And we've asked Jerry what his feeling is on the lunches. We've asked Andrew what he feels is fiscally responsible for the district. And we went over the contract, and we understand that the first year is growing pains, and we understand that the first year, the compliance to meet all the new federal guidelines of portion control and all of the issues of, children being introduced to wheat rather than white, and a healthy pasta rather than a whole flour pasta, and things like that. And we understand that there were things that, maybe communication, the ball on communication got dropped a little bit, but in our meeting, we set out very clear guidelines of what we expected from them and what they expected from us, and what jobs were our responsibility or the district's responsibility, and what were their responsibilities, and how we could, they're gonna be coming to us with a quarterly report, as well as, doing the same monthly statements. We've had concerns from the public that the fresh fruits and vegetables grant wasn't necessarily accounted for correctly. We've asked Andrew to look into that. Andrew says that it's taken care of very well. The auditors looked into it, and they thought that it was handled to the best of the situation, and they don't have a problem with that. So my personal opinion is that if our business administrator does not have a problem with how that's taken care of, they're in agreement with the company that we're servicing, we're outsourcing to, and our auditors do not have a problem with that, and there were no discrepancies in that I would like to make a motion to move forward with signing a contract with Cafe Services next year and seeing how it goes for another year.
We also talked to Chris about bringing back Grandparents' Day and like a Thanksgiving theme type of things, and all the little things that they had prior year. And he said he had no problems with any of that. So, that was a positive note on that, so.
And I guess one more thing that we did talk about, that we have an accounts receivable problem. We have some families that have steep accounts receivables due. And we were looking at it, and the children that have steep accounts receivables are still having a meal, but it's not necessarily the same meal. And we want your approval to have all of the children fed the same meal. Cost-wise, it actually costs more to have that special meal made and to have those special materials on hand, rather than feeding them all the same meal that all the other children are getting. And we would like to ask the board to move forward to not necessarily singling out the child with a different meal, but to maybe be able to move forward with collections and have it show on the parent's portion, not at the child's level, because we don't think the child should be responsible for the parent's inability to make a payment. And it will actually save money to do that.
And to get a different lunch also.
To get, and to get a different lunch. You don't want anyone to, we don't want it to be a reflection on the children at all. And we think the continuity would be a more successful avenue to move down.
Did you already make your motion officially?
I did make my motion. I actually have two motions I'd like to make, but the first one I would like to make is that I would like to make a motion to go into a contractual agreement with Cafe Services for 1 more year.
And I second that.
Okay, so other discussion, is it possible maybe we can take that action at our first meeting in June so that I have a chance to just, because haven't seen any of it at all? And
The contract?
yeah, is it possible, or is that too late?
Well, I don't think it's too late, but we need, we trust you to be on the committees that you're on,
Mm,
and we need you to trust us as well.
I understand that, and I appreciate that. I'm blind to it, absolutely blind to it.
Okay. Andrew, do we have time to wait until the next meeting?
It's going to be tight because I have to send it to the state for their approval.
It has to be in.
The state, that's actually a state contract. It's a template that the DOE puts out for nutrition, for outsourcing food service, so it's really, and it's been reviewed by our lawyers and approved by them as well.
Did you read last year's contract, Ralph?
No.
Okay. I can tell you the only thing that changed in the contract is the budget.
Right. Okay, all right. You can call for your vote, Steve, if you want.
All right, so this is actually next year? The agreement, or is that this year?
That's for next year.
For next year.
This is next year.
Yep.
This one is next year.
Okay.
This would be this year.
All right.
This would be next school year.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna vote against it only because I didn't review it, and I hope that the record shows that the only reason to vote against it is I didn't have a chance to review it, so,
You can abstain.
well, I'd rather vote against it.
All right, 4-1? 3-1, Rob.
Sorry about that. It's not the-
That's okay.
That's all right.
And then can we make the motion about collections too?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay, in the Cafe Services meeting that we had, we just want to quickly ask permission or give a little insight that we do have a policy in regards to collections, but we need to, and we're going to be addressing that at the next policy meeting, but we want to have a board vote that says that we do understand and do want to start holding the parents responsible, and we're not saying necessarily to take them all to small claims court, but to be able to take them to collections, and we're putting the data together to see what individuals and families might be the same families and individuals from last year, and we'd like to go 2 years back and move forward having those collections taken care of, because it is a substantial amount of money.
You want to make a...
So I make a motion to allow Andrew to move forward with collections for the past 2 years, accounts receivable for lunches.
And I second that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Bobby, you also had a motion about the meals. Did you pass that? Serving them the same meal, not a special meal?
Oh, we need to make a motion on that too?
No, I don't think we need a motion on that. That's a
Okay.
matter
Okay.
of procedure.
Okay.
Right.
I completely concur with it, so.
Before I forget, did everyone sign that? We're gonna sign that check and I'm gonna sign it?
I believe
We're gonna-
the only that didn't is Mrs.
So, would this be as a, technically a manifest?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Would this technically be a manifest? Yes?
That's the only check we ran for this week, it's for the environmental camp.
Well, no, I understand, but I mean, is it, because we, all right, can I have a motion to approve the manifest?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ralph, was that you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the status of the, well, it's a new parking area, but the status of the land?
I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon with the Realtor to go over what the next steps are, and then I will contact our attorney once we have a closing date to make sure he or she is available for their presence at the closing. So I'm meeting at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with the Realtor to go through what the next steps are.
That takes care of that, and can I have a motion to go into non-public under 91A 23C, nominations?
I'll make a motion to go into non-public on 91A23C.
We're gonna leave, so you can all stay.
Regarding nominations.
Motion second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Fogg, aye.
Ouellette, aye.
Sarah,
Brown, yes. All right. Adjourn the public meeting.
Yes,
Second it.
All in favor?
Sarah, aye.
Ouellette, aye.
So was it
Aye.
Bonnie and Bob or Ralph and Bob? Again, I can't hear you.
Bonnie and
Oh, I'm
Bob.
sorry.
You gotta speak up, please.
Bonnie and Bob.
Thank you.
Brown, yes.